of Travelfly Presents Boss Babes Travel. I have my colleagues with me again this week. And last week we talked about working smarter and not harder when it comes to streamlining your business processes and flows. So this week we're going to take a slight dive into using Canva and Constant Contact. I'm only going to spend a few minutes going over each though, because we have a lot of information to cover today. And I really want you to take some time for yourself to go through each of those and kind of see if it's a good fit for you and what you're looking for. So as I mentioned before, Canva is a graphic design platform that makes it easy to create, just stunning visuals. I use it for social media, creating all my content. You can do your scheduling in there and everything. It is just an amazing app to use and it's very user friendly. So you don't have to worry about if you are creative or not, because that's something that I've heard before is I'm not that creative. Well, guess what? They got templates. So if you ain't that
Takes the
creative,
guesswork out.
it takes the guesswork out. You can
Oh,
use your templates, okay? But at the same time, we always want to make sure as a professional and as a business owner that we're creating professional looking marketing materials. And it's something that we want to do without spending a whole lot of money, right? Because it can get pretty costly. Things start to add up when you're a business owner. So we want to keep that in mind. So let's talk about this. What else can you do with Canva? Um, you can create sets of branded templates. So if you're looking for brand design or keeping in step with your colors, you can use that. We talked about that. You can collaborate in real time with people. Um,
mhm,
you can
mhm.
do all of
I've
those
used
things.
that
So
feature before.
yeah, and so I sometimes I'll have my friends that send me stuff and then I'll look at their stuff and they look at mine. So I'm gonna share
Well,
my
you can
screen.
actually have you actually been on it while they're on it? You can actually see each other moving stuff around. It's really cool when you say in real time, it really is in real time. It's pretty cool to see that. Kayla, we can't hear you.
Ah, you can hear me now.
Yes, ma'am.
I just realized I had muted myself. That's all right. So this is my screen. This is a graphic that I created to tell people what is Travelfly Presents Boss Babes Travel. So you can click the link. You can generate your own QR code in here and everything. Now this one I did create from scratch. This is my own design, but you have wonderful templates that you can use for this. Okay. And you can upload your own, upload photos over here. And this is where the brand is, where you create your own, you can set up your brand template as you see over here. Your logos, you can add that in there. So many different things. And then your color palette that you have in there. So, and then you can do elements. I like these, adding these little different things to there. And, it's very easy to use and you can
Yes,
adjust it, do all these little things, right? And not
very
to worry,
user-friendly.
very user friendly. So if you feel like you've messed up, you don't have to worry about that. Just undo and keep it pushing. Okay. So hold on.
And all of those templates that you mentioned are all editable.
Yes.
So you're not stuck or pigeonholed just because you pick that one template. You're not stuck with it. You can like erase everything and start scratch if you want to. It's
Yeah.
totally manipulatable.
And one of my favorite things to do in here, which let me see if I can, I'm gonna stop share just really quick. One of my favorite things to do in here is to erase the background, because you see a lot of these people, they're doing these little graphics and then there's no background behind them. You're like, how in the world did they do that? Canva. So you can take your photo. I'm going to see if I can find one in here of me where I can remove the background, and I'll share it with you in just a moment.
Mhm. Do you use the audio feature on yours to
I
add
have
audio
not
to
used the
yours?
audio feature on here, but you
Mm.
can. You can.
So,
I've
you
created
know,
reels on here for
yes,
Facebook,
yes.
Instagram. I've created reels. I've created videos on
You
here.
can do voiceovers on here.
Yes, you
So
can.
you can record your own voice. My brand has its own little jingle or whatever, the Jack Harlow, what's poppin', blah, 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 blah. So I have different versions of that. So I have actually uploaded my jingles to my Canva and I can overlay them and put them into your videos or over still photos also.
Mhm.
So all of these things that Keela's showing you, you can add like all these other little facets. You can fade out the music and bring it in, and it's pretty cool.
Now
All kinds of stuff.
there's another app that I use to do all that, and I know that's gonna be like blow people's mind. I use CapCut
Yep, I use
because
that
I'm
too.
oh my God, I love CapCut, but that's for a whole nother webinar and a whole nother thing. There's so many different apps out there, and
Oh yeah,
I
tons. There's
encourage
tons.
you to play around with apps and figure out which one will work for you. I'm going to, here we go. I'll just use this photo. Let me, let's see, resume share. Let me know if you can see my
We
screen again.
can.
Oh, sorry, I accidentally tapped it. Let me do that. Okay, so there's a photo of me. And then you can edit photo and
Why don't
see,
you add it on another page so we
I
can
can.
see it
And
without the
maybe I should
writing
do
and
that,
stuff?
huh? There you
Yeah.
go. Maybe I should do that. I should do that. All right, let's do that. I got all kinds of photos of people in here from doing different collaborations. Um,
Yeah.
but anyway, so you can do this and you can oh, where did it go? Effects. There we go. Background remover. So you can just erase it and then watch it work its magic.
Right. And then
It'll
you
work
know
its
how
magic.
people and that's how people do the videos where they've got
There you
something
go.
going in the background,
Oh
right?
yeah.
And then a
Mm-hmm.
picture of them or a video of them talking, all
Mm-hmm.
they're doing is removing the background like that
That's it.
and just putting them talking on top of that video, like sandwiching or
Yep.
layering it together, and
That's it. And then
voila.
you can throw your logo on there, a quick little, quote of whatever you want to
Yep.
do, add that and boom. That's it.
And
That's
there
all
you
you
go.
do. It's easy peasy lemon squeezy. And so this is one of
Um,
my favorite features to use on Canva. All right, so now let's talk about constant contact, right?
okay.
So I'm going to stop sharing that and I'm going to go into constant contact to give you.
Now, constant contact is not something that I'm familiar with at all. Not at all. In
Well,
the
let me.
past, I've used, they have other free things out there. So, like, I used MailChimp, I think, at one point.
MailChimp is another one
Um,
that you can use.
mhm. Currently, the website that I use is hosted by Wix. So they have their own type of, like optimization and email marketing and all that kind of foolishness. But if your website doesn't have one, right? Or maybe
Mhm.
this constant contact sounds like it's got a lot of extra bells and whistles though that the basic platforms don't really have. So,
And this again, well, for mine, I want to make sure y'all know that I do pay for this one. So this is my paid one. But with the other one, you should be able to see my screen now. But you
yes,
see how you can do welcome email templates. You can do anniversary email. You can do everything. Click a link. There's so many different things that you can do with this. You can, and as I mentioned before, it creates segments. You can see who the most engaged was, if
right,
they were somewhat engaged, least engaged, everyone
mm,
engaged. Like it really breaks a lot of things down for you.
right.
And then there's information and articles there. Like if you get stuck, you can all, and their customer service is great. This I know because I've had to call several times. Because again,
Tried
as a
and true,
business owner, you're
tried
over
and
here
true.
learning these things yourself, right? You're wearing all these
Right,
different hats.
right.
You're
All the
like,
hats,
okay, today
all of
I'm
them,
marketer, today I'm emailer, today I'm
all of
this.
them.
You're wearing,
HR,
I'm
staff meeting by yourself,
HR.
all of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you're doing all these things. And so it's like, okay, you need to know what's going on. So, and this
Right.
also comes with AI, which segues into my next thing that I will be telling you about is about using artificial intelligence to
Yes,
help you in your business.
yes,
So, anyhow, I hope this kind of gives you some ideas of what you can do. And
right.
again, setting up automations. I did call their customer service. They helped me set it up. It's very easy to do. So automations don't become intimidated by it and thinking, oh my goodness, I don't know how to do that. It's a lot easier than you think. And once you start doing it, you're going to be setting up those automations,
Right.
easily. And in here also, you can build your landing pages. You can
Right.
do all of those things in here. You can integrate it into your website. It has all
Right.
those different, functionalities. You have your marketing campaigns. They have templates for that. If this wants to stay down, you have your calendar, you can send text messages from here
Right.
and get that
Right.
set up. If you have your EIN number for your business, you can set that up, sign up forms, you can do social posts, you can all the different things in here that you can do.
Right.
Your contacts, your lists, your tags, then your reporting and all of those things that can be done in constant
Very
contact. And
cool.
then as you can see, look, need help? Let's chat. It's that simple.
Lifesaver.
Lifesaver. So I hope that this segment was able to help you to know
Very cool.
what you have access to, what you can do, and to help you streamline some more of those processes. And again, helping us look professional in our business, because even though we are a small business, we don't want to look small business.
Right.
We want to get out there and be big business. We want to look big business. Like if you see Travel Fly Adventures, I don't want you to think, oh, it's just Keela, even though it just is me. But I want you to feel like you're dealing with a corporation, baby.
Fake it till you make it,
Yes,
and keep introducing yourself till you don't have to.
exactly. Y'all know who I am by now. You see me.
Hey y'all, it's Helena Lynette with What's Poppin' USA, Small Business Support Network, and welcome back. This week we are again with Miss Kayla Reyes and Miss Jessica Starks, and today we are talking about creative juices. And by that I mean getting them flowing. So we've got our brand, right? We've got this awesome product or service. We know what our voice is. We know what our logo is. We know what we look like, our brand personality is. We know who our customer is. We know what they look like, where they shop, how much money they make, where they live, if they got kids, if they got a job, if they like Steve Harvey or Metallica. We know all their ins and outs because we can visualize what our customer is, who our customer is. So now we're going to talk about being creative in your strategy. So let me ask this. Both of y'all are moms. You're not a mommy. Have you ever gone shopping, Jessica?
Yeah.
You're not a mommy, but you've been shopping. Have you ever been to the grocery store?
Yes.
Have you ever been down the bread aisle?
Yes.
Okay. How many different types of bread are there?
Thousands.
My point. So, Sunbeam, Wonder Bread, Nature's Own, you got pumpernickel rye, potato, sweet bread, this bread, that bread, seeded, unseeded, sprouted, unsprouted, right? Right? So, when people say, "You know what? I've got this I got a candle company, but everybody makes candles." Everybody makes candles. Girl, like I said, how many types of bread are there? Do you think any of these other companies are worried about what the other one's doing? And that's a big no. And you know why? Because they all have their own recipe, right? They've all got their own that makes them special. Whatever that is, they got that makes them special, right? Whether it's the $8 bread that's in the freezer because it's all organic, like the Ezekiel bread or something like that, right? Or it's the Kroger brand or the Albertson brand or the Lucky's brand, like no nutritional value bread, right? Every bread has its own set of people that are going to go after it, right? That's that target market. So how do these brands actually draw you to their stuff though? How do they actually say, "Hey, I got I got this mirror and I want to sell it." How do they get it out to the masses, right? As a large brand, they've got this, right? They've got and then they've got people that they pay this to think of all these creative ideas, right? But Keila, how many times did you say as a small business owner, how many hats do we wear? All of them,
Every
right?
single last
We're
one.
the accountant, we are the marketer, we're the graphic designer, we're the social media marketer, we're the CEO, we are the printer, we are the copy editor, we are the website designer, we are the accountant, we're the therapist because we talk to ourselves, have staff meetings by ourselves, all of the, we do everything. We wear all of the hats, right? And so sometimes we get overwhelmed and we're like, okay, I don't even know what to do anymore. It's like you're beating your head against the wall, right? You've got this great product and you might know who your customer is, but how do you get it to them? How do you be creative to like outdo the next guy? Okay. So, as a small business, you kind of got to think outside the box. We don't have the money, buku money to spend on advertising. We can't pay an agency or, somebody on Fiverr, you know what I mean, to constantly promote for us, right? So, some of the things we have to do is think about now, I'm going to give you a business. Say I'm a massage therapist. Okay. Say I'm a massage therapist. And I'm like, all right, I just graduated from massage therapy school. I want to go rub and touch on somebody. I have all of my friends and all of my family. I've exhausted all of them. Because as a business owner, what do we do first? We go to our friends and family. Can you buy this? Can if you're a massage therapist, can I try this on you? If you're a nail tech, can I put some nails on you? If you're a hair person, can I do your hair? You know what I mean? Like you go to them to get them to, right? But after you exhaust all of that, then who do you go to, right? So say I'm a massage therapist. I just graduated from school. I don't have a lot of money for advertising or anything. But one thing I do have is a table and a chair. The massage chairs, and then I have a table. Both of those things are portable. FYI, both of those things are portable. So let's think about some creative things, right? So, who is stressed? Where do people need massages at? Are there any? I live in Atlanta. There's a lot of corporations here. What is stopping you from drafting a letter and then an email and then maybe even popping up in person because just one time doesn't do it. It has to be multiple times. And let me just interject and say most people do not remember or catch on to stuff until they have seen it at least 3 to 7 times. 3 to 7 times. So as you're posting stuff and you think you're being repetitive and you think people are getting bored with your stuff, guess what? Every time they see it, it's like, oh, that's new. Oh, that until it starts getting in their head, right? So I say that to say, my husband watches a lot of sports. Do you guys remember the Burger King commercial with the king doing this with the hamburger? Do you guys remember that? You don't remember that? Okay, so the king, the Burger King, he was dressed up in the outfit with a Whopper and he was fanning himself. This damn commercial came on like every other commercial. It was so irritating, but it's repetition. You know why? Because I might be tired of that shit, but I remember it, don't I? I remember it, don't I? It might be irritating, but I remember it, right? So repetition, you want to follow up. just because you sent an email and nobody answered you, or just because you sent a message and nobody answers, you got to follow up. As a business owner, the fortune is in the follow up. Please get that through your head. Fortune is in the follow up. So when you are contacting people, like I said, I'm a massage therapist. Say I go into Georgia Pacific, which is one of the big corporations here, or hell, what if I go into the CNN Center? Right? A bunch of stressed out people in the offices. I can go to maybe their human resources office, or maybe their EAP, their employee, is it employee association program or something like that, like an employee benefit type thing through HR. And so, hey, I'm a massage therapist. Do you guys have a vacant office? I would love to come to your building every Tuesday and Thursday and give 10-minute massages during breaks or so. That is huge. You can rotate. There's 5 business days in the work week. You can rotate to different businesses. Have you ever thought about that? I mean, that's pretty cool though, right? Think about that, right? Or what about sports teams? And it doesn't, we're not talking NFL, major league, anything. What about school sports teams that need maybe some massage therapy for the athletes, for the legs, for the arms, right? You can target, there are intramural sports at the local parks and rec. You don't even have to go to if you can't get into the school district, go to the local parks and rec. They have intramural sports. There are different ways to be creative and think outside the box. So say you make t-shirts or tumblers. Okay, well, it's probably cheaper for a company ordering in bulk to go to like 4imprint or Vistaprint or something like that because of the quantity that they're ordering, right? But what about field day for school? What about PTA and parent teacher conferences? What about school organizations? What about school functions that need the t-shirts and the water bottles and all of that? These are different places that just because you sell t-shirts doesn't mean you only can be in a store or sell them out of your trunk. You have to think outside the box and think, who would actually need this stuff? Like, who's going to need it? What about maybe Lifetime Fitness, or maybe one of the other fitness places? Or maybe somebody who's not a chain that has a smaller mom and pop fitness place. Dude, making their t-shirts, automotive shops. All of these places have a t-shirt or a polo shirt that's got somebody's name and a logo on it, right? These are all places that you can target for your business. Just because you sell t-shirts doesn't mean you're confined to Facebook or confined to a pop-up shop. So I need you to think about those creative ideas with targeting different places. I had a young lady who was an author, okay? And she was writing a children's book. And the children's book happened to be about her son who is specially abled. And so she writes books that he is a superhero. And the abilities that he does have, she turned them into his superpower. So one of the ideas I said to her was, hey, have you thought about doing a book tour and maybe going to the local libraries? Or have you thought about hitting up all of the elementary and middle schools and their special ed programs, and maybe coming into the school and reading the book with your child with you? That is huge. Once a school system catches on to your books, then everybody else in the district wants it too, not just that one school. And she had a collection of books. So I said, present your books to them as a collection. Don't do it as a single. Only 2 of her books had come out, but she had 4 or so in the collection. Sell them all as a collection. You know what I mean? It's thinking outside the box and targeting different businesses, targeting different places that could use your services that you haven't really thought about, or that other people, maybe somebody else has beat you to the punch. Well, honey, there's a million automotive places, mom and pop places. There's a million restaurants that need t-shirts. Them things get dirty and all kinds of, they always need new t-shirts, right? Maybe you come to them and you embroider and you do their towels, or their little waist towels or their little aprons, and put everybody's name on it. These are ideas to think outside of the box. And once you, honestly, if you think about it, once you corner one business and somebody else comes in and sees that, they're going to be like, where'd you get that from? Who did your aprons and your t-shirts and your water bottles? And who's doing, you actually have somebody coming in and doing chair massages on your workers? What? What? That's big. That's big, because then people are going to want to come to work, right? Because they're getting that, instead of having a gym. Not all places have gyms for their people to work out at. But if you provide a therapist that's there, and it's like $1 a minute or $10 for 10 minutes, or the place pays for it, or whatever the case is, that is huge. Health and wellness, right? And then you go to the next corporation and you do it on a Tuesday and a Wednesday and a Thursday and a Friday at the next one, and take Mondays off, whatever, right? These are all different ways to think about being creative in your business. You don't have to stick to Facebook, Etsy, Shopify, right? Wix. You don't any of these little e-commerce, you're not pigeonholed by your TikTok shop, you know. Getting those creative juices running. Okay, I've got this shirt. Think about all the businesses in your immediate area. Dang, how many businesses can I actually target just within a 2-mile radius of my house? A shit ton if I sold t-shirts, right? So that's what you want to do. You want to think outside of the box. Think about those different creative strategies that other people, because you don't have the money for somebody else to come up with these strategies for you. So, brainstorm, get you a Dollar Tree notebook. It's $1.25 now, so you got to spend a little bit extra, but get you a composition book and just start writing down, put one business per page, when you contacted them, what you're offering them, did they get back to you? Maybe they're doing it on, companies sometimes work on a fiscal budget and not on a calendar year. So maybe their new budget doesn't renew till July. So you got to wait till July to hit them back. But all of these creative ideas and strategies to get your business off of the computer and actually out into the actual world for more people, more real hands-on interaction, is really what you're looking for. And taking advantage and brainstorming and coming up with some of these creative ideas for your business, no matter what they are, is really going to catapult you. So I do small business stuff, right? And I love to run my mouth. Well, dude, do you know, have you in your towns, in your local community centers, have you ever seen like the little guides where you can go take a Spanish class or go take an art class or take Tai Chi or something like that, right? Well, guess what? I teach small business stuff. Duh. Why am I not out there teaching at the Parks and Rec like that, right? I am. I'm just saying. These are different things to get out of your social media a bubble and a rut, and out of your brain's rut, you know what I mean? And get out there with some creative ideas. Go out there and roll around in the bread aisle. You know what I mean? Go walk through and see how many types of bread there are. How many types of ice cream? How many types of whatever? You know what I mean? We're not limited and pigeonholed to just one. So you kind of got to outfox and be creative with your strategy. And so I hope that I've at least given you some ideas to think about. It may not have been your particular business or industry that I honed in on, but in me talking about these other, supposed businesses and thinking about what you could do, right? Really can expand your business and expand your reach and keep coming up with those creative ideas. Just because one doesn't work, come up with some more. I mean, come on now. You know what I mean? We all come up with ideas and have ideas for everything. But when it comes to our business, we feel like, and I'm going to say one thing that somebody told me that, and I've taken to heart, really. At this point in our business, I've been in business now for a few years, right? But at this point in my business, I am still small enough to make mistakes. I am still small enough to learn. I am still small enough to grow and to do better. And so I say that to you saying, don't be afraid. You already took the leap of faith to actually start a business and you're already here, right? So all the work that you already put into it, don't throw it to the wayside because you can't come up with some creative ideas. Yes, AI will help you come up with right verbiage. It'll help you come up with social media content. But if you can't tell the AI what you want, again, and to come up with those creative ideas, you're never going to get it off the ground. So get you that Dollar Tree notebook and take copious notes. Keep it by your bedside. I wake up in the middle of the night because my hamster won't get off the wheel, and I'm like, oh, I got an idea. Jot it down, and revisit it. And revisit it. I hope I've been helpful at least a little bit with helping you churn up some of your creative ideas. And that's it for me. I'm done.
All right, y'all, we're back again. It's me, Keela, and Lena one more time. So this this time we're going to be talking about your CEO voice. So
Mm,
a lot of times when we're in business, we're kind of just thinking about, the actual business, getting it off the ground, doing what we got to do. But Coach I had made a really interesting point. She's like, do you own a business or do you own your job? And so that's something that I try to think about when I think about developing a CEO voice. Because although you may have your business or maybe like me, you have multiple businesses, you still want to show who you are as an entrepreneur as well. So it's
mm,
separate, but it's still together, if that makes
mm,
sense.
yeah,
So um, there's a few different things, just again, me paying attention to how people operate, how they operate in their business, out in public, different things like that. And I'm just going to share with you a few of the things that I've learned. So the first thing that I'm going to mention is that when CEOs or business owners, especially when they're confident, you know who that person is. So when they walk in a room, when they address you, when they may mention that business,
right.
they're casual, but they're confident. They
Mm-hmm.
know that they know that they got it going on, but they're not going to be, real
Cocky. Yeah.
braggy. They're not going to do that stuff. But there's just some sort of like silent confidence, and it's an air about them. And if you've seen people that walk into a room like that, you just know it and you feel it and you want it. Because I've done that several times. You want that.
Right.
And I've even been to events where you've seen somebody who's the main organizer or like the owner of the business, and you don't
Mhm.
know they own the business. And I'll explain that later on why that was. But again,
Right.
it's about how you present yourself. We've been talking about that.
Right.
I've even been in rooms, especially when I first started, and it's like, okay, everybody's introducing themselves, and I get skipped over. And it's like, I need to talk. Oh, I
Maybe.
thought you were with them. That
Oh,
hurt,
right,
but it helped me learn. Okay, I got to come back swinging next time I walk in this room.
right.
So when you're developing your CEO voice, first thing to remember, be yourself. Okay. You being a CEO doesn't change that you like unicorns and you like to eat chocolate chip cookies and,
Right,
you like to watch Pretty Little Liars,
right,
whatever. That doesn't change who you are. So you still want to incorporate that into whatever it is that you do. Right.
right.
So the first thing is to dress the part. Now, this can go either way. I've seen people fake it and you can tell they faking it. That's why I just said be yourself. Don't try to act like you something you're not. Don't show
Right.
up. If you don't wear heels, don't wear heels.
People can
It's
spot a phony.
yes. And it's
Spot
bad.
a phony.
It's bad. It's
Bad. Yeah,
really
it
bad.
is. It is.
Don't feel like you gotta wear a full piece suit. Don't feel like you gotta wear a big like a nice pantsuit. Don't feel like
Mm.
you gotta wear these dresses, long, short, cut on
Keep
side,
up with
whatever.
other people. Right.
Right. Just be who you are. Right.
Right.
There's people who dress like that, and that's naturally what they do, and that's okay. But if you're the type of person, you might be like, I just want to wear my t-shirt with my logo on it. You might throw on a blazer or something. There you go.
My
Exactly.
standard. This is what I wear. Anytime you catch
Right.
me, I'm
And they
always
know you for that. They know
right.
exactly who's coming for that.
Exactly. Exactly.
So make sure you're always dressing the part wherever it is you go. Just be who you are. Be consistent
Right.
in that because that's also a part of your brand. Because you don't want to. I'm not going to wear a red T-shirt because Lena's wearing a red T-shirt. My brand colors
Right.
aren't even red. That doesn't make
Right.
sense.
Right.
I'm not
Right.
going to wear red lipstick because Keela has it on. That's her signature.
Her
That's not
thing.
what I do.
Right. Right.
I gotta be me. So you gotta be you.
Find your own. Yep.
Right. So then the next thing is to be observant. Before you walk into the room, do your best to read the room. So, for example, I've gone to like seminars, different things like that.
Hmm.
I might see some people I know. I might not like them that much. We're gonna be real. You're gonna see people you don't like. And I was like, Lord, if I knew they was coming, I wasn't gonna show up. But I gotta be a professional. So
Right.
will I be the most talkative person
Things
that day? Probably
right.
not. You know,
Right.
I don't want to fool with y'all, but I'm gonna go in there and do what I got to do, right? So kind of how to conduct yourself. But
Right.
if you walk in a room and you see your friends, oh, okay, I could be comfortable because if I get bored, I could goof off with them, or we can
Right.
talk about it. Or we know we're gonna go to lunch afterwards. Like
Right.
it's more relaxed, right?
Right.
And another thing when it comes to building your business, if you know there's somebody there that you want to talk to, take
Hmm.
some time to study them. Don't stalk them, study them. There's two different things. Okay. So maybe check out their LinkedIn page, check out their website.
Before you approach them.
Right. Because you
You
want to be prepared. So,
thank you.
that's the way you can break the ice. Maybe they said something on LinkedIn about they booked a trip with Keela. Hey,
Right.
I booked a trip with Keela. Be like, hey, you
Right.
like to
Right.
travel?
Right.
Yeah,
Find a
Keela's great for
commonality or
the
something to
right,
break to segue into your
right.
conversation.
And that's how you can go into that. And then remember how we talked about previously about knowing, okay, I can talk to you a certain way.
Hmm.
That helps you prepare to know how you need to talk to that person.
Right.
That can even be just a general event. So say if you're just going to a pop-up shop, you just kind of trying to scope out the scene, see what's out there. You're not supposed to be super, uber professional and all
Right.
that stuff
It's
like
more of
that
a
there.
relaxed, yeah.
Yeah, you can be casual. You can just talk to them about what they got going on. But maybe if you're doing like a big banquet or something like that with like a highfalutin speaker, something like that, yeah, you might have to jazz it up a little bit.
Right. Right.
You just got
Right.
to know how to read the room and act
Right.
accordingly.
Correct. Correct.
Then one thing that really helped me, because my mentor Mary Parker, she told me this. You might be nervous. Again, don't let nobody see you sweat, but you gotta hype yourself up beforehand. So she's
Fake it
like,
till you make it.
Yes, exactly. So if you got a dress that you really like the color, or you just like how it fits, wear that dress.
Right.
Go in the mirror, say your prayers, say your affirmations, whatever you got to do. On the way there, play some hype music that's gonna get you in a good mood in the
Get you
car.
hyped up.
Call your friend, let him or her tell you how great you are on the way there. Get yourself in that mode so you'll
You
be
the shit,
prepared.
girl.
Right. Sometimes you gotta have people tell you that because,
Hype you
like,
up, right? Personal
it's
hype
gonna be
man.
days like, I can't do this. But once you call that person, they got you covered.
Like,
Because if you can go in there confident, you're more likely to get what you want. Because if you
yes.
go in there
Very
shy,
true.
it's not
If
gonna
you
work.
go in there not
Hmm.
sure and meek and shy, and people people are gonna be like, "Oh, Jessica, I thought you were with them." Like you
That's
Hmm.
said,
what she used to
and
say.
skip over you
If you
instead of,
go in
right?
there all mealy mouth, that's what she would
Go,
say. Don't go in there all mealy mouth.
But
comes out
that's true
guns
though.
blazing. Yeah,
Yeah. And then it's like, because I think about people like me. I'm not super loud and I'm not gonna say a lot. But you can
right,
read my energy, and that's what helps me lean forward in things. So I may
right.
not be able to just be forceful and say things, or I'll say something, you're not gonna hear me, but you can take my energy and take it
Feel
for what
you.
it
Right,
is.
right,
Right.
right.
So then that also leads to know when to turn it on and know when to turn it off. So again, we got don't be ratchet. You could be ratchet at home. You could be ratchet at the club. You could be ratchet with your friends.
But when you
But if
step in
you
front of your clients,
know how to
you better
act,
be Mary Poppins.
yeah,
You
you gotta know how to act. Because if it is not a part of your brand, it does not need to be there, right?
correct, correct, correct.
Because
Very much
again, we
so.
have to think, even though being an entrepreneur can somewhat, you may not be the face of your business, you
Right.
still reflect that. So
And
if you
people are
out here,
watching. People are
yeah,
watching too.
and they want some people want to see what you're gonna do. So you can't give them that satisfaction, Because I'm like, you don't want to be out at the park and they'd have found out you got in a fight over somebody's man.
Something
What's that
stupid,
gonna look
right?
like?
Just act accordingly. You know what I mean? You speak
Yeah.
accordingly, you act accordingly, you dress accordingly.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, and you're right, it's all representative of your brand and everything that you do. Everything has to be one complete package. In it, no
Mhm.
holes,
Yeah.
no holes, no,
Right.
you know what I mean? For lack of a better term, you don't want to be like schizophrenic or bipolar. One moment you happy and then the next minute you sad, and one minute you're you're gung ho with your this, and then the next minute you're this, and one minute you're wearing booty shorts and a crop top, and the next minute you got on a three-piece suit. Like, you can't go back. You got to be consistent. You know what I mean? You gotta be consistent
Yeah.
in your business, because the moment you start, like,
Mm-hmm.
back and forth, people lose interest and they don't wanna deal with all that.
Mm-hmm.
They don't wanna
Because
deal
I
with all
even
that.
think about it like you think about like comedians and rappers.
Mhm.
Comedians are gonna be in performance mode. So they're gonna be cracking jokes all day.
Right. Right.
Rappers, they constantly coming up with something. They gonna speak a certain way to their audience, but when they're in the boardroom, they're talking to somebody.
Different.
It's different, and that's not saying it's bad. They just know how to
Right.
turn it on and turn it off.
Yes. Yes.
And
You're right.
and it's not saying that you have to be perfect because we're
Mm-mm.
all gonna mess up,
Right. Right.
but you have to recover and keep on going.
Right.
So just do your best. Don't get caught in no mess. That's it. That's really it. I didn't mean for that to
That's
rhyme.
that's it right there. That's it right there. Don't get
That's
caught in
really
no mess.
We need
That's
that
it
as a
right.
new tagline, Jess.
I
Don't get caught
Do
know.
your
Like,
best. Don't
wow,
get caught in no mess.
where'd that come from?
I don't know, but I love it. I'm here
That's
for
it.
it.
That's it.
That's the
That's the
theme for
one right
today, you
there.
guys. Do your best and don't get caught in no
Don't get
mess.
caught in no mess.
Oh my gosh. Yep, that's the title. That's
Ah!
the title.
That's funny.
And this then the last thing is to be your potential customer. So a lot of times we're promoting, we're marketing to these people, and it's like, yeah, you need, marketing services. You need me to write a blog. You need me to do this. You need me to do that. But how do they know that you're right for them? You know? And they won't know that unless you can put yourselves in their shoes. Because then if you aren't doing that, how do you know what issues they have? How do you know what they're going through? Right. So that could be like Keela. She books, you book the flights, you put the whole thing together. But if
Yeah.
you weren't in that situation where you're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I'm too busy. I don't have time. It's supposed to be a surprise and I can't surprise a person because I can't figure out how to do all the stuff. Like, you know that. So you know how to solve those problems. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yes.
And we've all been in those situations where it's like, I don't know how to do an LLC. I don't know where to do my EIN. I don't know nothing about bookkeeping. I don't know
We've
nothing about
all
constant
been, oh yeah,
contact. What is
all
a
been there.
brand? What is all of that? But now that we know, we can bring that experience in, and we know the questions they're asking. We know what
Right.
they're afraid to ask. We know what
Right.
needs to be addressed. So, and that goes into networking. What do you want? So, what do you think the other person wants? So,
Right.
if I want some more money, it'd be wrong of me to say, you don't want no money, you all right. No, they want that too. Or I just want some exposure. You don't need no exposure. You bigger than me anyway. They still need that. Like you
Right.
can't assume,
Dismiss. Right.
So it has to be mutual. So make sure you always put yourself in the other person's shoes. And that also helps you develop that voice. You know who you are,
Yes.
you know who you're talking to, you know who your customers are, and you good to go.
Right.
So
It's called being customer centric.
mm-hmm.
I
Yep.
love it.
Yep.
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 So
Very
that's
true.
all from me for this time.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you,
Yes.
ladies.
Yes. So be your best.
Don't
Avoid
get it
the
on
mess.
me.
Best. And on that note, we'll see you next time.
Next time.